What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Liberty After Dark. That's not the real intro. That's just me saying hello. Let me turn this down just a bit. Cool. What's up? I see Mary's here. Hello, Mary. Let me, change this a little bit. Cool. That should be just about good. I dig it. So, yeah, sorry, didn't pick the bed up. We got a doggo sleeping on it, so I figured I wouldn't wake the doggo up, and instead I would just let you guys, I'm gonna move this chat box over here. By the way, looks like everything's pretty good. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day, as always. As everyone should, anyways. Hopefully. Nobody's got the Rona. You can see Trep back there. So, yeah, we're going to go over a little bit of news. Not really anything I think that's that important, honestly. And then we're going to talk about boundaries. And we're going to talk about lines. And if they have or have not been crossed. Doing good. Okay, I'm doing well. Doing well. No complaints. Well, I don't know if this show will be an hour. I was kind of expecting to have someone else on here, and they didn't wake up, which is fine. But no spoils, because I think they're going to come on maybe next week now. I don't know. I've got a couple people who want to come on, so I got to figure out some scheduling. But once that gets figured out, yeah. So I didn't really have a ton of kind of everything I wanted to talk about. I had to sort of scrap because it doesn't really work when it's just me. It was going to be more of like an interview-ish kind of episode. Didn't really turn out that way. So we may not even go full hour today. But once we're done here, I'm going to pretty much go straight into streaming some video games on the gaming channel, which I need to link somewhere real quick, because it has like 3 subscribers, and I know someone is interested in watching some games out there. Also, oh my god, this song is banging. Never heard this song before. Hold on, I don't even know what it is, but it is, wow, it is alive. It's called Echo Chamber by Nitrix. It's very aggressive. I like it. Yeah, so if I come over here, I should be able to... There it is. I'll just put this in here. That's the YouTube channel. I'll be streaming there, like all the games and everything. Wow, that is an old name right there. Vita Dulce. Well, that's a story right there. That was God. Almost 10 years ago now that I made this account. Hey Jennifer, how's it going? Let me turn this back on so you guys can see the chats. Yeah, man, that's a callback right there. 10 years at least. I think, yeah, I was in maybe I was in 9th grade. But even then, that's 14, right? So that would have been like 10 years ago. Holy crap. Yeah, I haven't seen that forever. But yeah, if you guys like watching video games, I will stream to Facebook and all the other stuff too. But you can go over and look like the YouTube channel, because if I'm not streaming anywhere else, I will be streaming to YouTube. Like if I do any of my impromptu stuff, I always do that on YouTube. YouTube is the primary platform, but people love Facebook for some reason. I hate Facebook. I think it's a terrible platform, but that's what the people want, so I give the people what they want. You know me. Yeah, I guess we'll get going here. I don't even think this is gonna be like a podcast episode. I still have to finish editing the 2 interviews that I had. I feel kind of bad about that. It's been like 2 weeks now, so I'll probably try to finish those tomorrow, and then yeah, that should be it. We got a Twitter now, though. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. I think technically I had it for the last show, but now we got a Twitter, and I should probably say it's at, I think, hold on, give me a second. I'm still new at this whole tweeter thing. Yeah, so the Twitter for the show, which I should have posted something to, but I didn't. It is linked to the podcast, though. So yeah, it's at liberty_a_d is the actual show Twitter, and then mine is at doorbell bomb LLC. So you can go follow me over there if you want to see me tweet. I don't really tweet much. I'm not a Twitter person, but I was told I needed to get on there. Trips in the corner. Yeah, I was just kind of saying before, Jen, that I don't, or sorry, Jennifer, I don't know you well enough to call you Jen. That I was expecting to have someone on, so I don't really have anything solo prepared. All the stuff I had prepared, I'm going to kind of put on the back burner, but we're going to talk a little bit about news. There's not much interesting stuff, and then I don't really know what we're going to talk about, so we'll see. If you guys have anything you guys want to talk about, that'd be good. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get things started. It's been a couple minutes, so anybody's gonna be here by this point, I guess, right? All the quote-unquote top fans. Sorry, I'm moving my mic. I didn't like the position it was in. It's been there all day too. It's probably made a bunch of racket and noise, but you guys are troopers. There we go. That's much better. I think that looks... You can see the dog's blanket up on the basket, but whatever. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. It's either dog or dogs. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. All right. I noticed I had, last time I recorded, I had this problem where I was like too far away from the microphone for the podcast. It doesn't... The stream is really good at kind of ironing out the edges, so it doesn't really matter, but... Oh, no worries. I promised my son I'd dye eggs with him tonight. Yeah, you guys are fine. Oh, it's Easter, isn't it? I haven't done that in forever. Yeah. We'll just, we'll see what happens. It may not be a very long show today, but that's fine. No obligations. Like I said, I don't remember when that was. A few weeks ago now. I was like, things happen. I get it. Dude had schedule changes, so he wasn't able to make it, or he's asleep technically, but that's because of schedule changes. So oh no, crap, hold on, I just hit the wrong thing. Any feedback on Signal? That's actually a really good... Let me fix this. Sorry, that was me being dumb. So Signal is great. Signal's probably the strongest, like, easily accessible encryption app. If I'm live streaming this all over the internet. If you need to talk about things that you don't want anybody else to know about, that's your best bet. Will it go down that way? Depends on how bad people want to see what you're saying. But 99.99% of people in the United States will be completely secure using Signal for now, until it's not. It's that kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, there's no such thing as like an unbreakable encryption. So having Signal has end-to-end encryption, and the private key is completely hidden. There's basically no way to access it. And the public key is, it's a public key for a reason, but even it gets scrambled. So it's a public key to the users, but it's not like a publicly available key. If you're not super intimate with the way encryption works, it may not make a whole lot of sense, but it's a pretty good system. Signal's pretty good. There are better ones, but not with support. Josh says until it becomes popular. Signal, it doesn't matter if Signal becomes popular because it's already integrated with Android messaging, or you have the ability to integrate it into Android messaging. And I know a bunch of people who use Signal as their primary text messages without even knowing about it, because you can send to and from Signal to text on the phone through Android devices. So yeah, that's a thing. It only works if it's both ways, though. That's part of end-to-end encryption. And it won't send your key to someone who's unencrypted, because then they can harvest your key, potentially, in theory. But yeah, just encryption's really powerful. And like I said, even with Josh, until it becomes popular, just because, even if it does become popular and they get access, they still have to say, okay, we want this person's private key, and they have to go through all the effort of getting that, well, however much effort it is. It could be as easy as clicking a button, but they still have to dedicate the resources to click the button on your particular key, because it wouldn't be mathematically feasible to literally filter every message that comes, decrypt and filter every message that comes through with everyone's private keys. I think they use a 24-bit encryption. I'm pretty sure they use the, what is that, SICA or something, like some 4-letter acronym for encryption standards. It's like 24-bit or 28-bit. I wrote a paper about it a while ago, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. And it's strong. It's really strong. It's completely impractical to crack it with a regular computer. Not impossible, though, with enough processing power. It's just, like I said, it's impractical. Like, it'd be easier just to break into the person's house and take their phone. But regardless, Signal's good. That was a really long way of saying Signal's good. I use Signal. So I use Signal to plan camping trips and, birthday parties and stuff like that, because I don't want the government knowing about all the parties. And so yeah, I guess, I don't even think I'm gonna record this, guys, because I don't have anything to, I don't have like a topic. I just wanted to go over some news items. Like I said, dude not here ruined everything, but it's okay. I will make it. Where was that? I had this thing open. So all 50 states are under a state of emergency, I'm pretty sure, right? Hold on, I'm gonna switch this. It might be a little hard to read you guys, but actually I'll just keep it this way. It's fine. My face gets a little shinier, but yeah, it's a major disaster in all 50 states for the first time in American history. Look at that. There's a lot of, I use it, but always suspicious. Yeah, as far as Signal goes, like, first off, like, there's literally nothing secure about these. I'll say that to begin with. Apple's probably better than most companies, and that's not me being biased. That's just like the facts. And like Google has literally given every law enforcement agency the keys to Android. So unless the manufacturers put some safeguard in, which they will cave to, FBI, CIA, whatever, they can just crack it. But Apple has been very, very, very adamant about how they are not going to give away their encryption, and they haven't yet so far. There have been criminal cases that have gone almost unsolved because there's been no way to restore the data on the iPhone, because it is natively encrypted on the iPhone to keep it. That's why, like, when you plug your iPhone in, you can't just, not only is it a couple other reasons why, but even if you did have a way to sift through all the files on an iPhone, you would get a bunch of garbage and then have to decrypt it, and a lot of times then you get useless information, unless it's jailbroken, and then there's some backdoors and stuff like that you can use. But like I was saying, Signal is better than just sending texts. I remember I think it was like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now, the NSA put out a big thing saying like, oh, hey guys, we ended our public surveillance program. Nice try, FBI. That's all I can say to that one. I don't believe it for a second. Even if it was true, it doesn't give me any reason to think that they wouldn't turn it back on for like specific people. Maybe it's like one of those things where they shut off like the massive every single person, and they were like, this data is useless because there's too much of it and we can't sort through it. But I mean, you know just as well as I do that as far as individual people, they are still to this day going through phones, and it's gross. It really is. But yeah, Signal's better by a long shot than nothing. There are other end-to-end encryption apps, and there's like private IRCs, and there's setting up your own dedicated servers with other people's code, and you can get as crazy as you want. I've seen people set up a chat service that use data transfers from public, like non-ham required radio waves, which is like, I don't remember, I have to look at my radio. There's like a frequency range in the UHF range, the ultra high frequency range, that's like for low powered devices. What's it? I think it's like above 5 something. But yeah, they would set up little data transfer things that would spit it out one end over the radio waves at, I think it's about 8 kilobits a second, and then send it to the other antenna, put it back into the internet, and it would encrypt analog, decrypt analog, and then send it back out as something different. Or re-encrypt when it's digitized. I don't remember exactly how it works, but I saw it and I was like, you guys are, that's too paranoid even for me. And they're not even anarchists. So encryption is an interesting topic. It may be something that we don't have here in the near future. That's one of those rights you don't really think about, or I guess, you know, it's having access to it is not something really people think about, normal people. So it's really easy for them to pass legislation on it. And like during all this coronavirus stuff, they're talking about fronting legislation to end civilian use of encryption because it's for public safety. They say like civilians have no reason to use encryption, and I say, for the same thing I say to every other thing they say we have no reason to have, that's utter horse shit. But okay, I guess. I mean, whatever. Your country, right? Someone must have voted way harder than me for me to lose the right to have that. But yeah, I mean, I'd just make a habit of using it if you could. But yeah, don't say anything that you wouldn't say if someone was potentially watching. Don't get on there and be like, I'm not advocating for any violence against any people. I have to say that before I say anything else. Don't get on there and say like, oh, I'm gonna commit some terrible atrocity, because like that could totally get you flagged. I don't know. Maybe Signal has a system, but don't do that. It's a bad idea no matter how you slice it. Josh, right? Yeah, public safety, exactly. Big air quotes there. I mean, that's really been this whole coronavirus thing, right? It's just been one giant public safety exercise, and I think everybody's starting to realize that it's a crock of shit. I don't know. I mean, I think it's really, some people are really convinced that like the reason that the numbers are as low as they are is because everything is shut down and social distancing and blah blah blah. But man, where I'm at, it's like everybody's unemployed basically, and like everything's closed, but there are a lot of people out on the roads. It's like nothing's changed except for the fact that people can't park their cars at restaurants. Like, maybe that did do a huge benefit. I think things like closing the schools, if you're just going to like forget rights for a second, if we're just going to talk about things that made sense from like a let's stop the spread of the disease, public schools, great, totally fine with that. Things like libraries and, you know, other gathering like town halls and stuff like that, yeah, close all those things. But like, you know, maybe put like a capacity limit on restaurants or something. I don't know. I just feel like this whole closing the restaurants, closing everything thing, I just really feel like that was a bit much. I mean, does everybody else feel the same way? I really feel like it was a bit much. I know too many people who are unemployed in food services right now, and one of the biggest heartbreaker about all of this is that a lot of these people not a lot, but some of these people don't have jobs to go back to now because the business that they were working under didn't qualify for the loans for whatever reason that may be, and so they were forced to close their shops because some of these restaurants are kind of basically going on a week-to-week basis, or they're taking on a lot of debt to do it, and they got to cut costs somehow. So, you know, it's one of those things, man. I just don't see how anybody wins here. I'm not saying that we should have just like, oh yeah, just like let all the old people get sick and die, but how many unemployed people do we have now? Like 30 million people, something like. That's the last time I checked. I've gotten to the point where I don't even check anymore. I used to be all over coronavirus, all over the numbers, all over everything, but dude, I know people who say it's not enough. That's insane. I mean, like, if you, so I didn't want to talk too. I mean, not that I'm really heartbroken about it, but I wasn't really planning on talking about coronavirus much. But even if you just look at a graph of coronavirus expansion, like we're definitely like on the logarithmic track now, like 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that we're better off than a lot of people think we are at this point. And you know, I was listening to Ben Shapiro, who I haven't listened to in forever, but I'm running out of stuff to listen to because of my work, and I got to this point where I was just wondering, like, or he was talking about how there's no like standard set for if we win, right? And I was kind of confused when he first brought it up, but it makes a lot of sense to me now. And he's like, listen, okay, so if coronavirus comes up and like kills 20 million people or whatever, and we didn't do any quarantines, right? Like let's pretend that that's the baseline. Like 20 million people on planet Earth die from coronavirus without any quarantines, and with quarantines, that number's 15 million, but we lose 30, 40 million jobs, you know, however it goes. And he was kind of asking, like, what's the baseline for success? You know, what's the baseline for success? Is it 10 million people and only 20 million jobs lost? Is it 5 million people and only 15 million jobs lost? Is it 10 million people and 600,000 jobs lost? Like, what's the standard here? And, you know, nobody's given an answer to that. And I really resonated with that, I think. It made a lot of sense to me. Something I hadn't thought about before. Like, what is a W? What does winning look like? And I don't know if there is, like, a hard answer to that. Like, is there something you could just... Is there a number that you could just pull out of the ether and say, this is a W, this is how we know we did everything we needed to, and, you know, we saved this many lives? And even then, it's just another projection, and as we've shown, these projections are not foolproof, not even close. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that I think both, you're either on one side of the camp. Well, that's not true either. There's a lot of people who are quite extreme one way or another. I think I've kind of, I don't know, I've just kind of flip-flopped as the information came out. Like, at first I was pretty concerned, but now I think, I don't know, now I think I'm kind of over it, really. I think, you know, we've basically been doing this for like a month now. Like, I'm over it, guys. I am ready for coronavirus to be... It doesn't have to go away. I don't care if coronavirus goes away. I'm ready for the quarantines to be done. I'm ready for people to get back to work. I mean, something was trending on Twitter. Let me see if it still is. See, I have a Twitter now, so I can tell you what's trending on Twitter. It was... I don't remember exactly what the hashtag was, but it was... Oh Lord, keep Texas red is one of the trending tweets right now. Uh, I don't remember what it was. It was like something, some back to work or something like that. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be interesting. That's for sure. I mean, since the last episode we had Bernie Sanders drop out of the race. That's a big thing too. We haven't talked politics in a while because it's gotten kind of boring. But now's the real boring part, where presidential politics, nothing happens for probably another 4 months. They'll throw some jabs at each other, but I mean, especially with this coronavirus stuff, like, will they even do presidential debates, or will there just be no audience or something? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I would expect August, September, we should be hearing about whether or not we're gonna, if they haven't happened by then, whether or not we're gonna have those things. And then we have the election in November, which is terrifying to think about. This is so terrifying. We've a pedophile in Donald Trump, and the fact that we have a pedophile running for president kind of blows my mind. And I know that you can like get in a lot of trouble for saying that he's a pedophile, but he molests children, so as far as I'm concerned, he's a pedophile. Man, what a world. I think I don't even really think that his policies are what would make. I mean, like, yeah, dude, he like, liberty wise, he's a pretty terrible candidate, but like, forget all of that for a second. The dude touches kids. Like, how do you vote for that and go to sleep at night? I don't know. How do you say, like, I did my part? Oh man, you get a little voting booth. You come out of the booth and you get a little sticker that says I voted for Joe Biden. What a world we live in, man. What a world we live in. Does anybody here know anybody that's going to vote for Joe Biden? Because I don't know anybody that's going to vote for Joe Biden, to be completely fair. I know 0 people who will vote for Joe Biden. Well, I say that, okay, but all the Democrats I know say that they're not going to vote for Joe Biden, which means that they're going to, they're going to basically hold out on this election. I don't know if they actually will or not. We'll have to see about that one, but for sure, I think we're going to have some interesting situations come up, is how I think it's going to go, where people are going to have to make a choice between endorsing Donald Trump and just kind of letting Joe Biden, vote for, or Jesus, what am I trying to say? Just voting for Joe Biden. It's not an endorsement. I don't know why I said that. I said that because I was clicking and I wasn't talking. I meant to say endorsing Joe Biden, but yeah, endorsing Joe Biden or letting Trump have a net positive of voters, I suppose, because you didn't vote. Not that that's an endorsement of him. I get that, but that's a bad situation to be in for someone who wants to be a conscious voter and who really believes Trump is evil. But I just don't see how you could vote for Biden, really. Like, I think you would, I don't know, you would have to be in some kind of, like, normally, most of the time when I talk about our left colleagues, I try to say things like, I can understand if X, Y, Z, right? But I guess I can understand that perspective if nothing else matters to you more than Donald Trump not being president. If that's it, if that's your modus operandi, and that's what gets you out of bed in the morning, I could totally see people 100% being cool with voting for Joe Biden. Or if you have like an agenda that only he would push, like if you're a guns person, I could see that, like and not a gun person in the good way, but in a gun person in the I want to take your guns way. I could totally see that. It's kind of sad though. think about it. I've been, yeah, Facebook, or sorry, Twitter has been recommending me all of these super hyper progressive, just crazy, insane left wing gun grabbers. And I'm like, you guys are just trying to start a fight. First off, like, why are you connecting me to these people? Apparently suggestions have nothing to do with your actual interests, but man, I mean, I was looking through some of these people's posts and they were like, everybody who owns a firearm is implicit in like the murder of children, and I was like sitting here like holding my Glock in my hand like, oh no, I mean, I guess I'm implicit in the murder of children. And you know, it's Twitter, it's dumb. I mean, obviously I don't take it very seriously, but whew, man, those people are, those are the kind of people that Joe Biden is really gonna be whenever he made the announcement that he was gonna have Beto O'Rourke as his coordinator for gun defense, like gun legislation. Man, ooh man, if any of you out there collapsitarians, I know who you need to vote for, because ooh man, I think that is gonna be a hurdle. I know that a lot of people say like if you ban semi-automatic weapons it'll cause the boog. I don't know if it'll cause the boog, but I do know that a lot of people are gonna die. Because there are just enough people out there who are just crazy enough about, like, the majority of people will just give their guns up. I guarantee it. The majority will. However, the majority of people who give their guns up are doing so mostly because, like, I hear this all the time. Like, listen, if I was 25 and had no kids and no wife and just a bunch of guns, like, I'd boog, you know? But, hey, what's up? We're just kind of chilling today. We're not doing, like, an actual episode, so we're just kind of talking. We had plans for today, but they kind of fell through, so it's all good. But I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. We're talking about guns and the boog, because it always comes back to the boog. Don't tempt me. Not a collapsitarian, but at this point it would be fun to watch it happen. I don't know if it would be fun to watch it happen. I know I get what you're getting at. I just, wow, man, because if that person comes and knocks on my door, I think I know what I'd do, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on stream. No. Yeah, it's not happening. It'd be a bad day. It'd be I'd be really sad. I'd be really sad. And you know what I think is going to happen again is what happens most of the time, except for with, you know, Donnie T. But what'll usually happen is the House and the president will trade places, and they do this every 4 years. It's a cycle, right? Typically, and this has been broken in the past, and we've had back-to-backs, but I think we can all read your mind on this one. Yeah, exactly, Josh. I mean, yeah, it'd be a bad day. I'd be so sad. I'm not a deep down, I'm really not, but I'd be sad. I like having modern amenities. I wouldn't be able to have those anymore. I wouldn't be able to stream anymore, you know. But it's whatever. I mean, regardless of all of that, I think that's a big one. That's a big one. But if that doesn't do it, I don't know. I think the opportunity to boog is gone after that. Like, if it doesn't happen, I'm just talking about a hypothetical boog that, you know, I want no part of, fundamentally speaking. But if it were to happen, it would have to be if they came for the guns. After that point, there's the line has been drawn. Unless you get like foreign aid, which is a whole can of worms in itself, and they like supply you with weapons. Once you're disarmed, I mean, what do? You just kind of have to. I mean, there's a lot of us, don't get me wrong, but it makes it a lot harder to get things done when they have fully automatic weapons and tanks and A-10s and UAVs, and we have, like, even now, AR-15s and hopes and dreams. It's a tough sell. It really is a tough sell. I totally get it when people are like, yeah, I'm not feeling it, bro. Totally get it. 110%. Bedtime for kiddos. Hope to BRB. That's fine, Mary. You know, I titled this, I was going to talk about some of this stuff with the guy who was going to be here. But I titled this, What's It Gonna Be? Right? And when I made that title, we were going to talk about, like, lines being crossed. And, like, at what point, where is your line, basically? Because I think everybody... Let me phrase this very carefully. I think everybody who believes that rights are not something to be trifled with believes that, or should have a line. Really, I think you should. I think you should have a line when you're dealing with individual people. Like, there's like a thing. It's like, how far are you willing to let someone disrespect you or something like that? That's not really the kind of thing that I'm concerned about. But it's like, if they came to your house and were like, oh, your wife's got corona, she's got to go to the FEMA corona camp. No objections. Please and thank you. And, like, do you let her go? Should she go? If you stop her, if she doesn't want to go and you stop them, I mean, it's a SNAP compliant, but it was going to be more interesting to talk about it from his perspective, because he's not an anarchist. So I think we would have had an interesting back and forth there. So I don't want to spoil too much from when he does come on, but I don't know. I think it is important. I think everybody has a line. Even he has a line. We were talking about this before. He was like, yeah, I've got a line. Everybody's got a line. You just got to figure out where it is. Sometimes it's like, they murdered my dog, or they killed my kids, or whatever. Like, terrible, awful lines that I hope never happens to anybody. But like I said, everybody's got a line. So, and I think everybody should have a line. I think that's a completely acceptable thing to have. I don't think it makes you, like, crazy or dangerous to say that you have a line. You don't have, because you know what's interesting is that everybody has, like, for everything else in your life, there is a line, you know. Whether or not you really, like, internalize the fact that there's a line, for literally everything else in your life, there's a line. Like, when someone's being aggressive towards you, you have a line. When, like I said earlier, a lot of people, like, being disrespectful to you, there's a line. Or, someone talking ill about you or your family or something like that, there's a line. But it seems like everybody says there's a line for government, but nobody acts on it. Nobody acts on it. Sorry, I'm sure you can hear that tapping, but it's just one of those things I've been thinking about. I've been thinking a lot about that and a lot about monetary policy. I've been thinking a lot about my line and how sad I would be to lose all of my modern amenities if my line were to be crossed. No lie, that's the number one thing that comes to my mind. Is it's like, man, I'm really gonna miss having a smartphone, because this thing, it would go directly out that window, gone. I have a Target gift card in the back of this for some reason. I think I've had it there for a while, honestly, but the Justice Department is sounding the alarm over local government regulations of religious services. Let me see what this says real quick. So basically it's saying that while social distancing policies are in effect, it should be applied even-handedly and not single out religious organizations. So this is in response to, I don't remember who the governor was. Some state said that they were going to be tracking the license plates of people who were going to church on Sundays, especially Easter Sunday, now that that's coming up, and going to divvy out their you know, tickets or however it may go down. I don't know if it's exactly tickets, but either way. So that's interesting. I'll be interested to see how it goes down tomorrow. Ooh. Excuse me, guys. Jeez. I don't know why I'm so tired. I mean, I got up early this morning, but not that early. And I'm still planning on streaming later, too. Just... Oh, that's a cup. Whoops. Just not this. And you won't see my face either. But, yeah, honestly, I really don't think I have anything else for you guys. It's fun hanging out, but I kind of, if we're just going to hang out, I might as well just play some Tarkov and hang out at the same time. So for you guys, there's a Facebook gaming channel, there's a YouTube gaming channel, there's the Twitch and the Mixer. Those will all be up. I may honestly just start doing this stuff on YouTube. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but we'll stream to everywhere just for fun, and we can keep talking over there. But yeah, I think I'm pretty much done with like the Liberty After Dark style stuff. So for now, for today, we'll pick it back up next week, and I won't have to worry about editing this, so it'll give me some time to catch up on older videos. But yeah, we've been going for about 30 minutes, so I think that's decent. Not the 9-hour live streams like we used to do, but yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream, and we're going to go over to I'm going to get things set up, actually, so I'll leave the stream on for just a bit, and then we'll go ahead and, or we could just start streaming games now. No, I kind of want to keep them separate, so I'll put a little thing up here just in case you're gone. I'll keep the stream up for like another 3 minutes, and then we'll be done ski. So that's all I've got though, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to this. Actually, I'm gonna keep talking for just a minute so that I can set this up, because, well, that seems like a good plan to me. Helps me give me a little bit of time to readjust some of this stuff that got all kerfluffled. Come down here, and then we take what do I need to do? I need to do countdown. I've never done this live, so let's see how fast I can do this. We'll just set it for like 5 minutes in the future. Whoops. I gotta type in a message. I forget about that every time. What time is it? Oh, 44. Wow, actually, we've probably been going... Yeah. Wow, actually been going for longer than I thought. Not bad. So yeah, we'll just set it for like 5 minutes in the future. I'll put a little text box in here. And then, yeah, I'll switch over to the scene. Cool. All right, I think that's it, guys. I can fight with this later. All right, cool. Sweet, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Take it easy, guys.